Chapter 3. The Royal Star. After a year at Oxford University, Edward went to fight in the First World War. He wrote, I lived in a house with 25 other soldiers. At night, we talked about our lives and our families. It was very interesting. I could speak freely to different people, rich and poor, young and old, but I also saw the blood and noise of war. One day in 1916, my driver took me to the town of Leuven, Belgium. I got out of the car and walked to the top of the hill. Down below me, there was heavy fighting and I felt very sad. An hour later, I returned to my car. I will never forget what I saw. My driver was dead. While I was away, somebody shot him in the neck. When the war finished in 1980, Edward returned to Buckingham Palace. One night, he was talking to his father in the dining room. I don't understand why countries fight, the prince said. The war has finished, but nothing has changed. There are still millions of poor and hungry people. Is not right? Somebody must do something. Well, King George replied, you can't change the world if you sit by the fire. You must travel, meet people, talk to them, listen to what they said. And then, when you are the king, you can make the world a better place. And so, in 1920, Edward left England again. During the next 5 years, he traveled 25,000 kilometers and visited 45 different countries. He saw India, Argentina, Nigeria, Mexico, New Zealand, Germany, and Japan. When he came to Toronto in Canada, there were 50,000 people in the streets to meet him. Everywhere, thousands of people waited to see him. There were crowds of 19,000 in the Camp Town, 30,000 in Paris, 50,000 in New York, and 75,000 in Melbourne. Edward in the first Royal Star, one newspaper wrote, and he is now the most famous man in the world. In the old days, princes were cold and bored, but Edward is different. He gets out of his car and walks down the street. Every 2 or 3 minutes, he stops and speaks with the crowd. He laughs, he smiles, he shakes 1,000 hands. He is the man of the people with a heart of gold.